And you said that I've heard you say that you kind of dropped out of practicing medicine to become a public health advocate to kind of get this in front of people because, like you stated, from your decade plus of research, you think that seed oils and vegetable oil consumption exploding like this could be contributing as high as 90% of the ill health epidemics that we face. And you feature very prominently in the new documentary that should be out any day now as of publishing, Fed a Lie. With that phrased, what is the biggest lie that we are being fed around seed oil consumption and vegetable oil?
Yeah, that's a great question, Steve. The biggest lie, this is very easy, is we are told that vegetable oils are, quote, heart healthy and also just, quote, healthy. And we're told this by the most prestigious nutrition organizations in the world, like Harvard School of Public Health, Mayo Clinic, uh, Tufts University in Boston, the American Heart Association, Cleveland Clinic, and so on. All of these organizations tell us that the vegetable oils are heart healthy and or healthy. And the reason that they do, and there's only one reason that I can gather, and I've been looking at this, working on this for well over a decade. And that one reason is that they lower our cholesterol. And I can't find any other reason that they can suggest and support that um, in terms of a medical viewpoint for them to dogmatically and systematically pour out to us over and over that these are heart healthy.
But isn't lowering cholesterol a good thing, Chris? We hear that all the time, right? Cholesterol is dangerous. Cholesterol is going to clog your arteries. So if they do lower cholesterol, why isn't that a good thing?
Well, so as I like to say in presentations, um, so seed oils or vegetable oils indeed do lower our cholesterol. So does arsenic.
Nice.
And that is absolutely true. And they both do this through similar mechanisms. And they do that because they're both highly pro-oxidative, meaning they're driving oxidation in the body, and oxidation in the body is like we're rusting inside. This is what is so damaging to our mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell, is oxidation. And this is what's driving a lot of our obesity epidemic, I believe. I think I quite didn't answer your whole question, though. I forgot was there another part to that, Steve?
Well, I'm kind of like trying to figure out why cholesterol is so vilified. And like you said, I
Oh,
guess
yes.
I guess we could have some fun here. We're trying to
Yeah.
steelman the
Yeah.
seed oil, the pro seed oil movement. Like you said, the only shred of evidence that you could find where you could even proposition that seed oils are beneficial is because they lower cholesterol. In particular, they lower the quote unquote bad cholesterol LDL. And if that's all we're looking for, then I guess we can find a validation that that's a good thing. But then it throws into question the whole cholesterol conundrum altogether. I recently learned that around the 1950s, they lowered the targets for cholesterol. It used to be over 300 got flagged as abnormal cholesterol. Now they're trying to get it sub 200 and they're marching towards sub 180. So why such a drastic change in the numbers? Because it doesn't seem to be helping the disease outcomes, and cardiovascular disease is still exploding. So I was just trying to figure out why cholesterol is so vilified and the seed oil, conundrum in this picture.
Yeah, and that's a very good question and a very hard question to answer without, using some simplifications, which I'll have to do in order to make this, brief. But in essence, lowering cholesterol could be beneficial. In general, I would say the way that they go about it in medicine is not beneficial at all. I do believe that when when LDL cholesterol in the body is really high, it there is something wrong, and it can be just as simple as a copper deficiency, for example. But a high cholesterol, as almost anyone who investigates this at all begins to quickly understand, is that high cholesterol does not drive coronary artery disease, coronary heart disease. We know this because people with extremely high levels of cholesterol, 300 to 800, often don't have any more coronary artery disease than people with cholesterol under 150, for example. So you're right. Allopathic medicine keeps changing keeps setting the bar lower and lower for where cholesterol needs to be. And the reason they do that is because no matter how low they get your cholesterol, people still get coronary artery disease and still have heart attacks and strokes and congestive heart failure and so forth related to ischemic heart disease. So they can't get it low enough, no matter what they do. And this is why they used all these medicines, from statins to now PCSK9 inhibitors to try to get your cholesterol, get it down to 50, and yet they still can't stop the progression of coronary heart disease. Why is that? Well, there's a very simple answer. And James DiNicolantonio published a paper a few years ago, I think 2018 or so, and I believe it's called the oxidized linoleic acid hypothesis of coronary heart disease. It's something like that. In this paper, very succinctly shows the very straightforward hypothesis that seed oils are incorporated into LDL cholesterol, and it is the omega-6 linoleic acid, the primary omega-6 fat of seed oils, that is incorporated into LDL and when it becomes oxidized, which it will, when you drive the levels of omega-6 higher in LDL, it will oxidize, and then it can be rapidly pulled out of circulation and deposited into your artery wall, which is what begins and propagates an atherosclerotic plaque. And so, from my research, if you look at all the populations that have no coronary heart disease at all, none of them have any vegetable oils. I just honestly think the answer is so simple. It's just right in front of us. If you eliminate vegetable oils from the diet, I think you probably could virtually eliminate coronary heart disease eventually. Yes, it would take some time. It would take a few years, but this goes back to the history. Even in 19th century Americans, we had no coronary heart disease. It was just virtually unknown. Sir William Osler's papers beginning in and his textbook beginning in 1892, and then paper in 1897 and 1908, for example, all these papers document that coronary heart disease was extraordinarily rare back then, when we had 1 gram of vegetable oils per person per day.
Hey, before you go anywhere, listen up. I've got a special announcement. Mark your calendars for this one. November 22nd, Heart and Soil is dropping a new documentary called Fed a Lie. This is going to be the documentary on seed oils. The end, the nail in the coffin. Expect to hear from experts like Dr. Paul Saladino, Nina Teicholz, Dr. Chris Knobbe, even superstars like Bethany Hamilton, as we gathered the big dogs to put an end to the seed oil madness. If you want to check that out, go to Heart and Soil's YouTube, subscribe, and go to fedalie.film. Plug in your details, and we will make sure you get the link as soon as that goes live so you can spread it far and wide. This will be an incredible conversation starter at the family table over the holidays, and it will be you helping us to spread this message of radical health and be a part of the healthy revolution. And as always, thank you for being here. If you like the show, please like it, subscribe it, and share it. Help us to spread this message of radical health. And we'll see you next week. Big love.